Hello again, welcome back to episode 6 of Paddy Does a One Bro, the Dragon's Dogma Report. Welcome. Sorry the last episode was all about levelling up, but I hope it was interesting enough that it was at least informative? Moving on. With this episode, I've decided I'd like to try and get some revenge. This is the Retribution arc. All of the mistakes I made in episode 4, I would like to try and rectify as many of those mistakes as I can. First step, remember the Chimera from episode 4? That Chimera we met that wrecked my shit. He's first. On the way to the Chimera, I learned something about my cool easy kill maneuver, my counter attack. It works on wolves. I didn't know that. I will be trying this move against other things as we go. So I reached the Chimera. Had a bit of a shaky start. Hit me quite a few times at the start. I was a bit worried that it was going badly. And then it kind of got good. I took the snake head and the goat head off in the space of about 30 seconds, maybe a minute. The footage will tell. And then, yeah, I managed to get on, and it seems like you can do the 100 kisses maneuver, the stab, 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 stab special attack, while you're mounted, which does seem broken. I mean, it uses a lot of stamina up, but, like, it's really, really good. So I melted that Chimera. So that is one problem for episode 4. Done. Next up, I decided to head back up to the Shadow Fort, where I failed the main worm hunt quest to take the fort back. I wanted to take on the Cyclopses. I wanted to have a go at them because they were the big problem, I think. I did try and shoot down the ballistas again and didn't do a very good job of it again, I don't think. But decided to crack on with the Cyclopses. And again, because you can climb out and do that 100 kisses move on them, it's not a problem. And as long as you can get up to their head and they make them do a grab attack, they will pull their helmets off for you, which is really good. I don't know if I got that on camera, but it's really, really good. After the Shadow Fort, after beating the Cyclopses, I had one more thing I wanted to try on the list of things that I got wrong. I wanted to have a go at that dragon that hangs around nearby. You may remember that I didn't really bother even trying. I just kind of ran away the last time, and I wanted to have a go. And, well, I think he's a bit too strong for me yet, but I think the fight itself went quite well. If I'd have gotten rid of the goblins in the area before I started, I think it would have been a little easier on me, and if I'd have bought a few more healing items, I think I would have been okay. As it stands, I've got him down to about half health before he cracked me. He's got some very horrible moves, some fire breath that really, really hurts whatever you do, some really nasty swipes and claw moves, but I was starting to get the measure of him. I was able to dodge and jump over his big sort of flailing swipe. When he goes up in the air to fly and burn you, if you can shoot him in the chest, in the weak point in his chest enough, he will fall down and you can get a few free hits him before he wakes back up. The majority of my damage was done not by jumping and grabbing on because he just flies up and you fall off. It was by getting underneath his head, and while he's doing his sort of flame and walk backwards move, you can just wail on his chest cavity without too much danger, which is quite good. But as it stands, I couldn't keep the pressure on enough, and I took a dead on this one. I did take a dead, but if I come back with a pile more heals and a bit more defense on me and a bit more practice with these daggers that I am still quite new with, I think this guy's going down soon. Maybe we'll try again on the next episode, but not for today. So on the way back, I decided to try a place I'd never noticed before. It was a doorway I ran past on the way to the dragon in the Shadow Fort. It's a place called the Ancient Quarry. I've decided to nip in because I hadn't been in yet. Maybe there'd be something cool in it. Turns out, lots of ogres. I saw 2 of them on the way through, and plenty of undead and zombos and just general horrible things. I did learn that my counterattack works on ogres as well, which is quite good. Mounted up, you know, doing the 100 kisses again seems to make a lot of difference. And yeah, I had a good time in this place. It was a dungeon full of undead and ogres. I did a bit of running around and thought, do you know what, maybe I'll come back later. This kind of feels like there's a quest in here or something. So I decided to leave via the first exit I found and said to myself, you know what, I'm going to come back later. As soon as I left, I met a guy outside called Alon, who's a merchant who's complaining that there's a door shut inside that he can't get through in the Ancient Quarry. A door that I have already opened, which he recognised and was like, "Oh, you already opened the door, thanks. Oh, by the way, there's still monsters in there though. Could you clear it out?" So, me being the fool I was, turned around and went straight back in. After running around trying to find zombies, I checked the actual quest, and the quest itself said ogres, of which there was only one left, which, you know, is not the biggest problem in the world. I can do ogres now. I decided to go back in and fight this ogre, and he was quite easy. Got him down eventually, headed back out to speak to Alon, who was very appreciative. He then did a 360 no-scope back into the mine, which I thought was very fun, and off he went. So after this, I decided to head back to town to go check in with Caxton.
Master works all, you can't go wrong.
Got a few upgrades, jumped off some stuff, and decided to move on. And now I've got an elemental weapon now, a fire dagger. Like, my daggers are fiery. I thought I'd go try the phantasms again in the Water God's Altar. Again, this is the Retribution arc. This is me getting revenge, and the phantasms was one of the problems from that episode. So I decided to head back in and fight ghosts with fire daggers. And while I did do damage to the ghosts, it wasn't enough to kill them. And also, whenever they grab onto you, they heal. I don't know how to deal with these guys, and if there's going to be more of them later, I'm going to have a problem unless I respec class into Sorcerer for a bit just to get bounties done. But that's not going to help me in a big dungeon. I don't know. We're going to work on that, and we're going to come back, I think. We're going to work on it and come back. So for the moment, I got a new skill called Snake Bite, which is a poison skill. It stabs into an enemy and inflicts poison upon them. Unfortunately, most of the time, it just kills an enemy, from what I could tell. And it's quite slow. The problem with it is that I now lose like a quicker move, like a dash move. So when I was fighting dogs and wolves, it's the same problem I was having with the broadswords, is that I couldn't get close enough to attack sometimes. So I did end up switching it back out to the cutting wind, the dashing attack, which is just more situationally useful in the long run. I've also found a new way to move around, which is sprint until I can't sprint anymore, and then combat roll, which is almost as fast as sprinting and lets my stamina regen, and then I sprint again. So I should be getting around the world a lot faster now, which is just great, because stopping to jog slowly while your stamina regens is not fun. And I understand why it's a mechanic, but it's not as fun as just gunning it. So I am a quick boy now. Is that Arisen? Is that you? No, too fast. It couldn't possibly be the Arisen. No, he'll be back. He'll be back. So now it was time to head on and do an actual mission. I decided to go over to Hillfigure Knoll, finally. A quest that's been given to me a long time ago that I'm finally deciding to go and do. It's a site of plot stuff. Arisen plot stuff, not just something that's happening in the world. This is actually closely tied into all the stuff with the dragon. So I headed off northways to the Hillfigure Knoll itself and met a load of snow versions of the enemies. There were snow harpies and snow wolves. Just white versions of the regular enemies. A bit stronger, a bit harder to kill, but just dogs and harpies, not really a problem as these thing goes. I reached the hill figure fairly easily, actually, all things considered. As you reach there, you meet a man who gives you all these riddles that don't mean an awful lot and are kind of backwards and you know, reversey. I don't like riddles. He leads you in to meet a man called the Dragon Forged, who's a very, very old Arisen, I believe. And the original guy who let you is, I think, called the Fool, who I think is his pawn. Apparently, only the Arisen can see the Dragon Forge, so even being able to notice him is proof enough. The Dragon Forge guy also tells me that the slate that led me here, that had some words on it, means literally nothing. It was just a key to get me to come here to advance my destiny or something. So I nick everything that's not nailed down and decide to come back home, because that's all that this quest is. On the way back, knocked down another Chimera. Again, melted it in about 2 minutes. I'm very much enjoying the fact that these things are going down a lot faster now. I also saw a big flying chicken, and I did try and shoot him, but my bowmanship is not good enough yet. I have got a date with this griffin. I do want a piece, but I couldn't get him to come say hi. I tried, and I couldn't get him to come say hi. So next up was the final worm hunt quest, Seeking Salvation, trying to find the roots of a cult deep in the city of Grand Soren. I spoke to Mason, who decided to kind of tell me where to go. Into the catacombs under the city, which I did. Lots of zombies, lots of skeletons, as you'd expect in a catacomb. I still can't deal with the phantasms, so I just ran away from them. I met the most adorable ogre. He's very small. I think it's a baby one. He's very, very cute. I like him a lot. And then I murdered him. But he was fun. I liked Tiny Ogre. He was only a little bit bigger than me, and I thought that was cute. So as we push through, we find the Salvation Cult and Elysian, the small man, who I'm finally showing on video in this series, after he's toned up at least 6 times at this point. There's a cutscene where they talk about, you know, impending doom and stuff.
This is the answer, dear Arisen!
Then everything descends into zombies and chaos, which, now I'm very strong, wasn't really that big of a deal. I knocked them all down pretty simply. The door decided to talk to me. Turns out that's Mason, who was turned into a door. Or maybe he's behind the door, but I like to think he turned into a door for a moment. I head through, meet Mason himself, who's turned back into a human, and he leads me to a captive who is, you know, saying, "Oh no, please, the end is coming, join me together, I don't mean you any harm." And Mason let me decide what to do with him, to let him go or to murder him. I murdered him, and Mason was proud of me, and I don't know if that's a good thing or not. We'll see how that goes. Maybe this is one of those there'll be consequences later situations, but just murdering him felt like the right thing to do. So that was episode 6 of the Dragon's Dogma report. I've gotten some revenge for last time. I've tested my skills against a dragon, a big old dragon, and pushed forward some of the quests. I think next up we are heading to court to go meet the Duke next, which I'm looking forward to. And I think this opens up the next sort of world phase of the game. More things start happening now, and I start to explore a bit more of the world. So thank you very much for watching. I hope you're having fun. I'm having a lot of fun. And I will see you on the next episode. Goodbye!